Gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to
left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, so
let me just say what I'm doing here, not trying to, what I'm putting together. I'm trying to, because I've spoken to a lot of promoters out there, promoters in UAE, in South Africa. I'm trying to get our fighters, as I said, from grassroots to international professional standard.
My name is Mayo, aka Icebox, aka Minister of Fitness. Welcome to Body Rocks. I am the CEO of this place. And like I say, your fitness is my business. This is where we do all we do. From fighting to fitness to you name it, we do it. But this is our place. This is who I am. Alright?
And that comes with a lot more than just being a good fighter. In the age that we're in now, you have to be social media ready. You have to be media ready. You have to be comfortable enough. You can tell, it's obvious. There's times when obviously you think the UFC don't really want this guy as a champion because his English is not very good. It's not very, that kind of thing, or it's not really fun. So you see, because it always favors the guys who are heavy in the media. Because no matter how you look at it, it's how the world is now. It matters. That time, it wasn't so obvious. During my time when I was competing, it wasn't so obvious. But it still made a difference because I always got paid well because I sold a lot of tickets. And that's because we were the token black guys in our city. We knew a lot of people because we had so many factions. We had uni friends, we had bar friends, we had bar friends, like local friends, we had gym friends. So there's a big pool of people. But promoters also favored people like myself more than the other guy who might be better skilled than I am, but he's not a ticket seller. Because promoters, that's what they understand, is the business. And I try to help these fighters understand that you just being a good fighter is not all. Sadly, it's not enough.
Yeah.
You have to have all these things. We have to look good. So I tell them, like, go get a haircut in this place. If we're gonna have funky hairstyle, make sure it's proper. Don't make it like poor man dreadlocks. They really look like cool rasta shit. If that's what you're gonna have. Or braid your hair like properly. That's what you want to do. But you have to be presentable. So that's what I try to do. I try to package these guys and then clean up their. Because I spoke to the EFC, that's the Extreme Fighting Championship in South Africa. I spoke to the team there, and it's a beautiful thing they have going on there. Because all the people who work EFC are young. I think I was older than everybody. And they just understand it, they just get it. So when they spoke to me, they're like, listen, Nigerians are the most entertaining people in the world. That's how they said it. They know. And they are a production company, a promotion.
Yeah.
And that's what they're looking for. Because when I looked at the roster, there's not many original South Africans on the fight card. Most of the guys you see are Congolese-born South Africans. So they're very, very aware of this, and they're also very open to importing talent from places. Okay. So they've had some bad runnings with Nigerians before, which a lot of people all over the world will say. And they gave me the 3 problems that they usually encounter. First problem is, even if the fighter is good locally or whatever, but he's only ever fought in front of 200 people max. First time they bring him over to EFC, he fights in front of 10,000 people. It's too much.
Yeah.
He doesn't perform. Second one, okay, he's good, but he's a good striker. And what is it? They don't teach wrestling in Nigerian schools. They do in South Africa. They don't teach wrestling here. They definitely don't teach jiu-jitsu until I came along trying to push that.
Yeah. So
they come over and they're very deficient in one part of the game or 2 parts of the game. The good strikers take them down, fish out of water. They don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Then the third problem was, okay, they don't mind a big crowd. In fact, they thrive in it. Somehow they happen to be quite well-rounded. Maybe they don't let people take them down at all. Really good defensive wrestling. But then they come over with the wrong visa. Maybe they come in as a visitor visa. The moment you get paid, you get deported because you're not supposed to work on a visitor visa,
Yeah.
or they come over with the right visa. They make friends with some dodgy Nigerians that are over there who tell them, "Oh, don't worry, we can live the dream." Because you see a lot of guys, driving fancy cars, and get very easy to lure you in. Like, why do you want to go to Nigeria back? What do you want to go back to Nigeria for? Come make money, with us, and then they get on the wrong side of the law. So those are the things that they were having issues with. So they no longer want to deal with fighters individually, and I understand because it's a hell of a task to control or to organize adult fighters, Nigerian adults. Like, they will give you so much headache and they'll cost you a lot because those guys eat like they eat like horses. they like they are troublesome. It is hard work. I can't even lie. I know what I go through here. But for them, they'll rather deal with like a person like me, who can say, "Oh, I have 10 guys, I have 20 guys, 30 guys that I can verify, vouch for, clean passports, all this. I bring everybody over. They're in my custody. I have their passports. When we're going, we'll all go back. We're not trying to hang around. We're not letting anybody escaping is under my watch. It's my responsibility to go get that person." They don't want to deal with all that. So that is what I'm trying to establish here. I'm trying to get these guys. Like I said, it's a hard task because I do get all this. I get guys who are really good. They don't speak a lick of English, or they just look like they came out of a container. I was headed to some random place. So it's cleaning all these things up. Then it costs. The real problem, the real issue, is the financial burden, because trying to do that for something in the future like this, the short term returns are non-existent. Not even small, non-existent. And then I'm trying to run the normal businesses. There's a bunch of things I'm doing, trying to run that and trying to cater for these boys as well. Is difficult. And sometimes maybe you get a female one, because I get excited about female fighters and that kind of thing. You could create the next Ronda Rousey. Then they get pregnant. They're like, what are you supposed to do with that? Like, so much is really complicated. Like, it's really hard work. But I'm not losing hope, and I am still fighting the good fight. And I spoke to a lot of my friends, and they're like, listen, the problem with you, Mario, is that you try to fight everything yourself. Like, open up, tell people. That's why normally I wouldn't have even said all this on the show. But it's me trying to be different now. I'm saying it. Anybody wants to be a sponsor, anybody want to, help, even if they say, "Oh, I just want to pay for one fighter, I want to give in this amount to this fighter to add towards the fighters, feeding, sports gear, anything would be great." Oh, we even had Kennedy in Zechuku. He spent like 5 weeks with us. Yeah, he was teaching classes at our sport. We got a big poster of him. We signed it. He's one of the nicest, like, most genuine human beings I've ever met. He's such a great guy. Like, I wish him the absolute best in everything in his career. And he came and he understood what I was saying, and he's really trying to help me to push this mission. But it's an expensive mission. It costs a whole lot. Yeah, but that's what we're doing.
That's it. Well, I think you're definitely well positioned to do that, obviously, with your background, with what you've got going on now, and obviously with the push for, what it seems to be a push with some of the major organizations to actually have a presence in Nigeria, or in Africa, should we say, specifically. Obviously, UFC talks. We don't know if that'll come to fruition. PFL Africa with the Francis Ngannou deal. Let's see what comes there. AKO.
AKO, yeah. So AKO, yes. AKO started before Kamaru, to be honest. AKO, there's a longer history there. For some reasons, I wouldn't say everything I know. But it's all good. AKO started before, and I think now they are getting it.
Okay.
Because before, I went for their first actual show, not the not the Ultimate Fighter Star one they did. That was the first thing they did before they
Yeah.
started doing actual events. They went for their first event, and I mean it's their first event, so I get it. But I was also worried because I didn't think. I think there was. I felt like they were starting off on the wrong foot, where they were giving no real regard to the fighters. You know,
Right.
they weren't really like welfare in terms of welfare, in terms of what they're leaving with them. Like, what's the continuation for them? Like after this, what's next? And are you building them up in a direction, or are you solely focused on building the show? Because you kind of have to carry everything together. Carry your
That's the
athletes, carry the event. So I felt like they were just carrying the event and not the athletes. But now they are getting it. This last show they did, they're in the right direction now. I can, and now they're even coming to Abuja, which is good. It's actually good. You know, some people are like calling me up, like, "Oh, the competition." No, it's actually good. It's good for the whole market to go up. You know, and even when they come into my city, it's still good. It's good. It forces me to step up, and and I'm also still involved anyway. To be honest, it's not possible for anybody to do any combat entertainment thing without me being involved in some way. Somebody from my network is doing something for you. They're fighting for you, refereeing for you, judging for you, being a medic for you, being MC, being like, oh, one of the greatest MCs in the UK now was my idea. Yeah, our guy, MC Buddy Johnson.
Big
Yeah,
up.
man. And he thought I was just taking the piss. I was like, yo, you would be great with this. And look at how good he's doing now.
I
Things like that.
I can promise, like, really, really pushed Bud into that. I really
Exactly.
believed in him, and like, yeah, honestly,
He didn't believe in himself for that. He was. I mean, my first show. Remember, he made so many blunders and everything. But I told him, yo, it was great. Like, remember he got his math wrong. He was like, oh, 10 fights, 18 fighters. Hey, what are you saying? Like, not so much wrong, but he's just such a great personality of a guy. I knew it was going to be great. So anyway, there's nobody that can do a show that some involvement. I won't have some involvement. And but it's good to see it growing. And I was not very long ago, there was only one ring in Abuja. So every show you saw that happened here, and there's about 10 different shows. It just has a different dressing on it. You just don't recognize it. It's all me. But now there's about 4 rings now.
Yeah.
So finally people are catching on. But that's, I mean, from 2017 to now, I mean, it's about time they caught up. It's like 5 years ahead of them. But so like I said, it's just good that the community is growing. Yeah, I went to an event end of April, and the faces I saw there was just like new faces. I mean, the promoters were a Port Harcourt based team, but I don't believe it was not all Port Harcourt people that were there. But even the Abuja crowd, it was a different crowd. People that normally wouldn't have come out before. So like, this is good. It's not just the same people being diluted anymore. Like, oh, my people are going to this show. It's expanded beyond that now. Because before we had a lot of the expatriates were the ones who knew and they would come. But now we had to, by expatriates, really, I was talking about the American embassy, the American guys. But now we had this GIZ people, the German-based company, and they had all their people there. So it's moved from America to Europe now. And so the expatriate community that comes to these things is also expanding. Yeah, so it's great. It's a great time. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be in the business, in all forms of it. And like even like what you do, like King's Court, because we started that. We have Combat Culture, our podcast, and started that. It was 4 of us, but I mean, there's just too many things. I can't do it all, so I stepped out. So Young Jolov handles all that now, and he's doing such a great job with that. So kudos to him. But yeah, we had all these extensions of everything we're doing, but combat culture was our media arm trying to capture the MMA scene. And it's good. It's a good time.
They might reach out to those guys, see if we can do some collabs and whatnot. But just a few more things. I know we're taking a lot of your time and appreciate
No
that.
problem, man. Go for it.
In this scene, do you see sort of like the investment from people like Kamaru, like Kennedy, in the actual grassroots or in the in the events? And no doubt we'd need more of that. But do you notice that in the progression?
I've noticed that. I wasn't. Some of the downside of being here and being in this game for quite long can kind of make it quite cynical. I've become quite cynical, to be honest. So I didn't think that we were really going to back, their image with like actual money. Like, oh, let's actually make this thing happen. I felt like a lot of people were just coming and for the media of it, like, oh, photograph me with all this, young, talented African, unfortunate kids. But I didn't think they would actually back it up with any money. But I see what Kennedy is doing. I see what Kamaru is starting to do.
Yeah.
And even if there's any ulterior motives to it, even if it's the end game is, oh, they're just trying to cash out, no problem. But put some money in, like put a bit of an influx of cash into development. So so I'm definitely more optimistic now for what's happening and what people are doing. Sadiq Yusuf, Super Sadiq, he's a great guy. I've not had a chance to meet up with him yet. Last time he came, he was in Lagos. He didn't come to Abuja, and I couldn't make it to Lagos. But he's really, maybe it's not a cash thing, and because not all the fighters have money. Nigerians, we always think that because you're abroad, you're loaded. So he does come over, but he's definitely interested. The way he relates, that he wants to help him however he can, But he looks like he's more about being hands-on than a distant cash drop. Which, to be honest, I'd actually prefer.
Yeah.
Let the people who have the cash do the cash. And a lot of these government guys here can drop this cash. You don't have to be collecting the cash from those guys. Let these guys abroad actually come and be hands-on on it. That's what I'm waiting for. Like, really, like the way Francis Ngannou goes back and he goes to his mother's place, goes eat yam, his shoes up. They all need to be doing that. When they're off season, they're not fighting for the next 4 or 5 months. Come back, do a month. It means a lot to these guys. All these fighters. I think also it will break a lot of unrealistic ideas that they have. Because when I tell them stuff, they no longer see me as someone that might know better than them. Because it's getting further and further away. Like when I had my last fight. My last fight was December 2013. So I've been inactive for 10 years this December. So they don't really they think of me as a businessman now. And it's fine. My life has evolved to that. So they take what I say with a pinch of salt. But I try to just give them a real dose of it. It's like, listen, you can't be entitled in this thing now. Like, you really can't. Like, you guys even get paid in Nigeria just flat out like that cash. So in the UK, amateur semi-pro, you don't get paid. It's ticket deals. So if you're not selling tickets, you have no value. And so I tell them, like, do you really think you have any value other than your talent? It's like, just I can go to the village and pack guys that can punch and kick. I go bring them and make a whole show around them. You add any real value to the shows, and they don't like to hear it. They're like, no, they're making plenty money from the show. Pay me. All right. I mean, we did about 3-4 shows before we could become profitable. And when I say profit margin is really tiny. If you're trying to put a good show together, if you want the tables to have a little bit of food, because Nigerian, anything you're doing, you have to have food. Well, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, have food, man. Like that's the food has to be there.
Malts.
Even the guys that are paying for regular tickets expect to see some food, so you give them pop. the costs are high, so the profit margins are low. You know, you want the production to be good. All these videographers, they charge you a shitload. You know, charge you a shitload if you want the work to be done well, if you want the production to be done well, if you want the editing to be done quickly. Otherwise, you just wait like 2 months and they'll be keeping you on freeze, man. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But they don't want to hear it. So I feel like if these guys came back, they could give them a real dose of it, like reality. Like this is some of this UFC. That guy, Gorimbo from EFC, that's now in the UFC. Did you see what happened? Like he didn't have any money. Kobe Covington was the one giving him money for
$7. That's mad.
He didn't have any money. Yeah, but you see, because that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
But you know, but the people back will just be like, "Oh, he's going to UFC, automatically he's a millionaire." It doesn't work that way. You don't just make money. Like by the time you paid everything, you'll pay your medical bills, your blah, blah. By the time you get your money, there's nothing left. By the time you paid back everything, your gym, because it's not like Nigeria. Like me too, I was doing it. I'll just see somebody I know you can afford to be in my space, but I'll bring you in and come in and work out come and train for free. Because I know there's no planet where you can afford this. Come on, work you. But they get entitled. They start thinking, oh yeah, you know, you should because maybe I'm doing better than they are, so I should. No, I don't have to. It's a business after all. I don't have to do anything for you. Like, So, so I feel like if they're coming back more, it would help break a lot of these things, and these guys can get smarter quicker. That's one of my advantages because I was started by Les. Les kind of exposed me to the economy of the thing very quickly. I didn't go in there, and I would always argue my value. So if I told the promoter I wanted to get so many £1,000, and the promoter like, no, I will calculate for you how much I'm making you. And there was no show that I fought on that the money, the tickets I sold didn't cover my own expenses and my opponent's expense. So even if my opponent sells nothing, the money I'm bringing in covers what I'm asking for. And I wasn't greedy. I'll just say what I know I can based on my value. But I could calculate that. And even if you're not smart enough to do that, like I'm offering to be that person for you, but you want to fight me. So anyway, so those are the less enjoyable, more difficult parts of this thing, the interpersonal parts. I'm trying to push and lead, and sometimes accepting that sometimes you're going to be the bad guy. In fact, a lot of the time I'm the bad guy. To be honest, because they just don't believe. It's like, oh no, I'm sure you're making hundreds of millions and you don't want to give us. Like, okay, now let's be serious. No puff for anybody in this show.
That is awesome. But yeah, still a long way to go. Obviously, still a long way to go. But there's scope there. Just to finish off, there's a skit that we always do when we speak to our guys, which is quick fire questions. So just a number of questions that we'll ask yourself. And first thing that comes to your head, basically. So this or that sort of thing. So first one, Abuja or Lagos?
Abuja.
The best heavyweight in the world at the moment in time. Is it Francis Ngannou? Is it John Jones?
John Jones.
Which do you prefer, wrestling or jiu-jitsu?
These are tough questions. These are tough, man. Jiu-jitsu.
Okay, which do you prefer, boxing or Muay Thai?
Muay Thai.
Okay, at bantamweight, will Aljamain Sterling remain champ at the end of 2023?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure my answers are all like Man, but don't put me on heat though. I was like, ooh. Like,
I'm gonna send him this.
the wrestling and jiu-jitsu one, I don't know if I'm gonna regret that. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I'm trying to get my blue belt finally because I never got graded jiu-jitsu. I did MMA jiu-jitsu. I never did Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Apart from, I mean, a few weeks when I was in Scotland, I would do like with the gi on. But now we have an actual like brown belt. One of our American guys, he's Nigerian, but he's American. So he's around and he's like taking everybody up in their grade. So we have our grading coming up soon. So I guess I'm in that jiu-jitsu element. I think that's why I'm saying jiu-jitsu, because I've been doing a lot of that and I want that blue belt because kind of work I'm coaching people. But when I was competing, I think I leveled up well against like purple belts. But I don't actually have a grading. So I'm a white belt. So when you see me there, so I'm coaching you, but I'm also wearing the same belt to you. So I think I want to use the opportunity to like, let me actually have a blue that I can say, oh, okay, yeah. So I grappled with this girl once. She came in newly. She was from France. And she came in and she was a blue belt. And, you know, like all in our gis and all like, she came in. I heard that she had come in and she was good. So I would get excited when new people come and they're good. So we're, you know, passing partners, changing partners. And she looked at me and she's like, do you want to go? I was like, oh yeah, great. So, you know, palms, knuckles. And we start and I sweep her. Then I put her in a triangle, then I transition to an armbar. Then she stops like, what? What? In a French accent, what kind of white belt are you? I was like, disclaimer, I should have told you, I'm not really a white belt. I just technically am, but I'm not really. You're like, okay, because I didn't understand like how are you doing all this thing. I was messing her up, man. Like, but it was jokes, man. So I'm always have to like warn people like, don't get discouraged. I have a little bit of experience, let's put it that way. And it kind of goes against my normal instinct because when I went to Dubai the first time, I went to the UFC gym. And it's just what I do. Like I don't go anywhere trying to act like I know anything. Like I don't know shit. Let's just. So anyway, I go there and I've done the first class. Then now the jiu-jitsu class is on. So we're standing in a circle. Then the coach comes in, and you know he's like, "Oh, we have new people today." I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh." Then he's talking. And looks at me. He's like, "Nah, you're not a beginner because he saw my ear." And he and I had the same stature, same bow legs, same height. They're like, no, you come out, from there. And then like, I'm rolling with you tonight. Like, oh, come on, I don't want to roll with the coach, man. So yeah, man. So I get found out sometimes, but usually I just like keep quiet, like, nope, no anything. Let's just go. But yeah, man. But jiu-jitsu is fun. It's fun.
Nice. Right.
All right, man.
Last two, do you prefer coaching or do you prefer fighting yourself?
Ooh, I won't lie. I miss fighting a lot. I miss it. Like, I guess strong doses. Especially when I go to fight shows, or when my guys are in there. Oh, like I miss. I don't remember. Like it was wild. Like I miss that craziness of the crowd. Like when you're coming out, and I'm also what I also miss is I miss how disciplined I am when I'm preparing for a fight. Like, just discipline with the food, the celibacy, all that stuff. You just clean up your act and you're just like full focus mode. Like it's been a very long time since I had that kind of intense focus on one task. Like one thing's all that matters. Nothing else matters. Just this. So I miss that. Then I also miss the glory of the entrance and the win, that buzz you feel when you won. Like for 2 weeks, you literally feel indestructible. Nothing shakes you. Like, oh man, yeah. So I miss those feelings. But coaching is also rewarding too. It just make me feel old though. Yeah, it makes me feel old, man. And I lie about my age a lot. All the girls ask me, how old are you? Like, yeah, whatever age you think I am, that's how old I am. I'm in my 20s. Let's go with that. I always love it, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, that's it.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate your
Yeah.
time. You're
Thank
doing
you for
big
having me,
things
man.
in the scene. We'll put all your socials down below, and yeah, we'll keep in touch definitely.
My
Thank
guy.
you so much, man. Appreciate it, man. And keep up the good work with the King's Court, man. I'm gonna keep supporting any way I can, and
Thank you.
yeah. And even when we finally get like big stars here in like in Nigeria, I'll make sure I connect them to you so that you can
Okay.
get them on your
Come on.
show, man.
Come
And
on.
until we
appreciate
finally
that.
see again, because I plan to, I hope that we can,
Yes.
wherever it is, whether it's in the UK, in UAE, we need to go somewhere. We need to definitely
Yes.
Absolutely.
have a ball, man. Awesome. Or we could do Thailand.
Oh,
Thailand.
but it's still the same.
Yeah, let's definitely do something though. Let's work towards it.
Wow.
All right, man.
100%.
All right, guys. Good to see you
My
guys,
brother.
man.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
The fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about that.
Left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, so.